it's one of the pillars that I would recommend anyone do. It's part of the relationship building is finding people that help you get your name out there. So,
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So, yeah, we are just wrapping up our second campaign exclusively on Fund My Comic. Um, in fact, I think it might be closed by now, but I am learning a lot about how to market a crowdfunding campaign. So, my next one, I'm going to be doing a lot more planning in advance before I launch it and doing podcast tours and stuff like that to hopefully build. And it's been fun though, like not trying that hard to market the crowdfunder because it's interesting and it's interesting because we do a lot of the marketing for our website, and I'm like, okay, how am I going to work this where I do want people to still purchase through our website, but at the same time, I need to also let people know that we are having a crowdfunding campaign. So I'm kind of navigating those waters right now.
okay. Yeah. Um, when I talk to people, it's always like, oh, we sell on Amazon. I'm like, okay. You don't want to not be on Amazon because it is the biggest store on the planet. But you really want those people buying from your website where you're collecting the email addresses and you're collecting all of the sales data on them. And you really don't want to split the money with somebody else if you don't have to. So, I think it's good that you started where you did. Like, I do agree that there is a certain benefit to the relationship building that goes into crowdfunding. I also think it helps kind of really articulate the sales cycle for people that aren't experienced with it. Like, there's a way, like, there's an end date, there's a scarcity element to that. There is a get it while it's here. Or while this is up there, we're working only on this project. It helps you really focus on one product at a time as far as a release goes. And certainly when people are new, there's no sense of like doing that. It's just kind of throwing things against the wall and hoping somebody buys something.
Kind of like that, and I'm what really kind of pushed me over the edge to start the crowdfunding thing is we didn't want to go on the controlled platforms of Indiegogo and Kickstarter. So when I saw Fund My Comic was a thing and weren't going to censor us or shadow ban us or things like that, I'm like, okay, now is the time. Let's jump in and start trying this crowdfunding thing out. Not that I haven't crowdfunded before. Back in 2014, we successfully crowdfunded a documentary. So we we have a little experience in it.
No, that's awesome then. What exactly is Flip City Mag itself? Like what is inside the pages of this thing?
Okay, so Flip City Magazine is a comic satire rag that kind of takes the shit out of mainstream narratives. And I think I hold on. I don't know if I'm going to mess up my camera because I do want to just bring up a magazine. Okay, cool. So this is our latest edition. It is a physical print comic satire magazine. It's a variety magazine, really. We do publish in every edition. We publish a lead parody, and that's how our magazine always opens. But we do satirical articles, comic strips. So it's not all illustrated content. Some of it is like photographic, depending on what we're doing with it. So it's a variety magazine.
Okay. Like you said, it's more like in line with like the old Mad magazine, that kind of stuff. How big is the magazine? How many different creators do you have in each magazine?
So, in every magazine, we probably average about 13 different contributors. But as far as our full run, we have just finished our 20th volume. I believe we have attracted at this point about 30 different contributors. Some of them are regular contributors, some of them are one offs, but usually if somebody contributes, they'll come back and do more for the magazine. So, in fact, our only girl illustrator that we've ever had in the magazine, I just interviewed her yesterday because one of the regular things that we publish in our magazine is an interview with a contributor. So I had a really nice conversation with her, but she's only contributed maybe 4 or 5 different times through those 20 magazines.
Yep, see, it doesn't matter where you lie. You always find yourself pandering to somebody. Just kind of happens that way. I do it too. I salivate every time I can find a female come on the other and talk to me. It's like, another dude who's doing something. There's gotta be more women creators out there. Come on.
Yeah, and she's a great illustrator, and it's funny because she's younger and she's a young mom. She's got 2 kids, stay-at-home wife, and everything. But she's a salty bitch. But I freaking love her. She's so mean to me, but I'm also mean back to her. It's just our relationship. I'm like, you're kind of like a young me. I can't believe how well we get along because I don't have a lot of female friends. I like I like dudes. Anyway, the way I made her, because she was really nervous to contact us. She thought we were a really big thing, and she contacted me, and I said, "Oh yeah, dude, you'll be the first girl we publish because it's a sausage party around here. I need a girl." And that put her at ease. So we talked about that in her interview yesterday.
People, first rule of marketing: just send the email. There's literally nothing that's going to happen to you negatively. What are they going to do? Block your email and then you don't even know? That's the worst it's going to be. I promise you. And I think people don't realize, like, when you're like doing like a creative, like say podcast, say a magazine, the hardest thing in the world for you to do is find crap to fill the magazine. This has to come out next month, and I need to make sure that I've got good content to go in this thing. So like, anyone that can make that easier for you by giving you something ready to go, that's you're the answer to my prayers. Like, please send me more crap that's ready to go so that I don't have to like bust my ass trying to find something, frankly.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing, the way we take submissions in all different forms. We do commissions for stuff that we've already written. But we've been getting plenty of people just submitting their like comic strip or something like that they think will fit with our brand. And then we go from there. It's like, will we use it? Will we not? Who knows?
Well, and what's the worst case I get is just a no. You're not going to send them an email like, "Oh my God, you're the most worthless human being that's ever existed." I mean, maybe you are, I guess. It better be really funny if you do that. Like, it better have a good payoff.
Well, we're a little bit of a salty brand, but I don't think we've been that mean.
There's a difference between being salty and just being a prick, I guess. But yeah, I've never met anyone that's going to just like go out of their way to screw with creatives like that. So it's always amusing to me, like, just that people, they have their own biggest enemy, certainly when it comes into like the marketing side of things.
Well, I think particularly with artists, with creatives, they're probably their own biggest critic. Nobody's going to critique you as bad as you do, unless you really suck, and then you have a big ego and you don't think you suck.
A lot of like, so I'm currently working on a marketing book called The Role Player's Guide to Marketing, and like literally my introduction is just explaining I'm a dork, and I watched a bunch of movies and listened to a bunch of music back in the early '90s that made me really kind of hold myself back in life. And all of that holding myself back in life by, I guess, boxing myself into, oh, well, this is the way that dorks act and this is the way that dorks do things. It just stopped me from taking chances. It stopped me from doing the things that would naturally lead you to be successful in life. And they're not complicated things. It's usually just relationship building stuff, like talk to people and, don't be a dick sometimes. Like, understand like why, like, when people are useful and they have things to offer, take advantage of it. Let them know, hey, I think we can work something. Take the chances, make the ask. And that's the biggest thing that I didn't do growing up. And like, I never thought of myself as someone who was worth making the ask. And the bottom line is, the only person that can make that decision is you. And so, I mean, I hate to say it, but it's funny. Like, I don't know if you've ever done any like sales or marketing training and all the books and self-help on it. They're all mindset books. It's literally all about how to get yourself in the frame of mind to do that type of work. And I'm because we're creatives, we all come from that self-deprecating. Like I come from the musician side of things. That's where I came from, and we're all just we just think of ourselves as like these weirdos. In the words of Declan Finn, I became a writer because I didn't want to talk to people. Like we boxed ourselves off, and it makes marketing very difficult because it's like all marketing is going out and finding people to help you do the thing that you love doing, finding people that love what you do. And if you don't talk to people and you don't meet people and you don't build connections, then no one will ever know what you do to care about what you do. And a lot of time it's just making the ask. It's just feeling confident enough in yourself to show somebody what you do. And until you start doing it, like you're just gonna wallow away in obscurity. So how do you codify that and teach a bunch of dorks and geeks, how to go out and I guess make friends?
That seems almost literally impossible. you know, well,